Hello guys, welcome to Oracle Land. In this video, we will be covering second type of PLSQL block, named one, the stored functions. So in this video, we will cover the purpose of stored functions and how to create a normal stored function. Then we will learn about how to create a parameterized stored function. Then we will be learning about the exception handling part of the stored functions. After that we will cover how to call the stored functions from anonymous block, then from the another stored function, then from stored procedure, and then from a normal SQL query. Then we will learn about how to get more than one value out of a stored function. So let's get started. First of all, we will learn about the purpose of a stored function. So basically, a mathematical function is a function that takes some arguments and do some operation on those arguments and then returns a value. So this is the basic logic behind the normal stored functions as well inside the Oracle database. These are taking some parameters and doing some operation on those parameters and then returning the values. So now we will create a normal stored function inside the Oracle database. To create a stored function, we use a command called create or replace. Create or replace function, then function name, then it takes a clause that defines what type of value this particular function will be returning using the return clause. Let's take an example that this particular function returns a varchar value. Then there starts a declaration section in which we declare our variable. So here we will be declaring a normal variable called the print num that will be of number type, and its initial value will be 0 only. Then there starts a normal execution block with the begin keyword, and then we write our business logic in this particular block. So we will be printing the variable that we have declared called print num using the dbms output. Also, as this is a stored function, so we need to declare a return clause as well that will return a value. So in this function we will be simply returning this particular variable value as well using the return clause. Then we can put the end here, and then using this run but execute statement button we can create our stored function. This says that identifier dbms output must be declared. Okay, dbms, it is dbms underscore output. So after retrying we are able to create our stored function. So now this particular function that we have created with a name called fn stored function is actually stored inside the database, and we can check that particular function in the functions section of our system connection. Now you can see that there is a function named fn stored function. Let's close this. Now by double clicking on this we can actually open our function. So this is the normal function that just takes no parameter and declares a normal print num variable, prints that variable and also returns the same. So this is a normal stored function type. Now we will be learning about how to create a parameterized stored function. Let's open up another SQL worksheet. Parameterized stored function also gets created using the same create or replace function command. The only thing is we need to declare our parameters that this particular function will be taking. So let's assume that this particular function is taking v param num, and this this variable will be of type number. In this stored function as well, we need to declare our return type. So let's declare that this particular function will return a number value. Now we can use our declaration section to declare another type of variables or cursors that we want. In this case, we will be declaring the same variable that we have used in the normal function, and initialization will be with a value 10. Now here starts a execution block with the begin clause. In this begin clause, first we will print the value using dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. First we will print the parameter, the pass parameter is this one. Now we will print our variable that we have declared inside this particular function. The declared variable is, we print num as okay. Now we will perform some mathematical operation on both of these variables and return our value out of this function. So let's assume that we need to return a value that is a sum of our parameter and our declared variable. Now we can close our execution block using the end. Now using the run statement, we can actually create our stored parameterized function. Now after refreshing the functions palette, we will be able to see our stored parameterized function as well. As you can see that after double clicking, we are able to see our stored function. So now we are done with our creation of stored functions, both in both the ways. We will be handling our exceptions in the stored functions. Exception handling is also simple. First start with the normal function. In this function, if you want to do the exception handling, just write an exception block using the exception clause. Exception when others, then just write a simple logic to print a string that is of exception type, or some normal string saying that an error has occurred. So after compilation, we are done with our exception handling block as well. So after closing and reopening it, we will be able to see our changes. Okay, so now let's copy it and paste it to our parameterized stored function as well. Now this particular stored function is able to handle the exception inside its body as well. So this is the exception handling part. Now let's move forward to how to call a stored function. So in this particular section, the first part is to call a stored function using the anonymous block. So for this, we need to create an anonymous block. Let's open up another SQL worksheet. In this, as I have already told you that to declare an anonymous block, we use a declare keyword, and then we need to declare a variable of some type. Let's say a number variable, it will be number1 of type number, and first it will be initialized with 0 only. After that we need to declare we need to start our execution block. In this execution block, we will be calling our store function. first we will call the normal stored function that does not take any argument. Okay, so when we run this particular anonymous block, it says that fn stored function is not a procedure or is undefined. This error is because we are just calling our stored function without actually returning any means declaring any variable that will hold the returned value of function. As you can see that this particular function is returning some value, like it is returning a varchar value. Okay, first change it to number as we are returning a number value here. See, return print num. Print number is of type number, so this must match particular return and return declaration. Let's compile it again. So now that we are able to see the error inside this, we need to handle it. To handle this particular error, first we need to hold the value that is being returned by this function. So to hold this particular value, we are using the variable that will hold the value returned by the function name fn stored function. Now that we will be holding the value, we will print that particular value on the console using the dbms output. Output dot put underscore line and the variable name with some predefined string called the returned value from normal stored function is this. So now we will be able to print our value that is being returned by the function name fn stored function. Now let's run this. So it is saying that function unknown command. So to call a function, even if it is not parameterized, we need to use our brackets here. Now that you are able to see that anonymous block is completed, let's run again. It shows that anonymous block is completed here, and the console is showing return value from a normal stored function is 0. As you are able to see that the value inside the function is initialized with 0, and we have not changed the value in the execution block. So that's why it is first printing the value here, that is 0, and again it is returned to the anonymous block in the variable v number 1, and while printing this v number 1 we are able to get our value 0. Now let's just change some logic inside the function. Let's say we change the value to 20, or just put it after printing, and compile and then run again. As you can see that anonymous block is completed, and the console is showing, first it is showing 0 because in the function we have printed our value just at the starting of the execution block, and then we have we have put a 20 value inside this parameter, inside this variable, and returned it. So the anonymous block will be having a 20 in its variable named v number 1, so it will be printing 20 here. So it is like that. Now let's call a parameterized stored function as well. To call a stored function that is parameterized one, we need to pass some argument. So let's pass some argument. First we need to declare that, or we can directly use default or hard-coded value, say 30. First we need to change the function name from normal parameterized. Okay, now you can see that we are calling a parameterized function with a argument of 30, and the returned value is of type number. So we have declared a variable of type number that will be holding the returned value, and then it will be printing here on the console. So let's try to run it. It is showing that an anonymous block is completed, and let's see what is the output on the console. It is showing that the passed parameter is 30, the declared variable is 10, and the returned value from the stored function is parameterized stored function is 40. So let's have a look on how it is showing on the console. It is first showing the passed parameter is 30. The passed parameter is vparam_num, which is the parameter that we have declared in the function. So it is printing 30 because in the anonymous block we have passed the 30 as argument. Then in the next line it is showing declared variable is vprint_num. Vprint_num is a variable declared inside the stored function, which with a value of 10 as a default. So it is showing declared variable is 10. Now it is doing sum of both the variables and returning the value. So 10 plus 20, 10 plus 30 will be 40. That will be returned by this particular stored function, and it will be stored in the variable v number 1, and it will be printed on the console. That's how we are able to see it on the console. So this is the way we can call the stored functions using the anonymous blocks. Now let's move forward towards the another part, that is using calling a stored function from another stored function. To do that, we will first create a stored function. Sorry. Using the create or replace command. Create or replace function fn child function. That will return a number type variable. Let's make it simple, just return the variable only. The function is compiled. Now we are able, as it is stored in the database, we are able to see it on the object palette here in the function section. So now we will be calling this particular child function in our main function. Let's call it in the normal function. So again, to hold the value returned by this particular fn child function, we need to declare a variable that will be holding the value. We need to declare it a number type because the return type is number in the child function. So we will declare it with number and initialized value as 0. Now that we have put our code, let's try to compile it. It is compiled, but I think we need to do some mathematics on this as well. Let's just return a value that will be a sum of both the values, that is the print number and the child return variable. Okay, and now we will be calling our stored function that will again call the child function, and the return value will be added to the print num, and it will be returned to our calling environment. Let's try it with the anonymous block only. Okay, so in this particular anonymous block we are calling fn stored function, which is having an execution block inside which we have another stored function, that is fn child function, that is returning a value called in the variable we child return variable, and this variable value is being added to the print num that is being ultimately returned to the anonymous block. So now let's try to run this. It is showing anonymous block completed and the return value is 30. The return value from normal stored function with child function call is 30. So how it is calculating 30, let's try to find out. As you can see that the print num variable is having a value of 20, and the child then the fn child function will be called. This child function is returning a variable vnum which is having value 10. So at this particular line we will be having print num of 20 and v child function of value 10. So this particular statement will return 20 plus 10 30, that is being stored in the v number one variable, and being then with this will be finally means displayed on the console with the value 30. So in this way we are able to call our stored function from another stored function. Now let's move forward towards the third side, that is calling a stored function from stored procedure. So as we have already created some stored procedures, let's take out one of them named pr stored procedure. So first we will call our procedure called child function, function called fn child function. And as this function will be returning a value, we need to declare a variable called vnum. Let's give it an initial value of 0. Now let's just print this particular value on the console inside the execution block of the stored procedure. So now that we have called our stored function from the stored procedure, let's try to run this stored procedure using the normal exec command that I have already explained to you in the previous video. It is showing anonymous block completed, and on the console it is showing the value returned by the stored function is 10, because the child function is having a variable named 10 vnum having value 10, and it is being returned. So this particular stored procedure is holding this and that value 10 and printing it on the console using the dbms underscore output command. So now we will be covering our next section, that is calling a stored function from a normal SQL query. So to define and explain this, we will open our new worksheet and write our normal SQL query. Select say we will be calling our child function only in this case from dual. As you can see that we are able to call our child function from a normal SQL query, and it is returning a value 10 that is being declared in the declaration section and returned on using the return command. So now that we have covered our calling part, now let's move forward towards the next section, that is how to get more than one value out of a stored function. So as you can see that in a while creating a stored function, we have declared us that this particular function will be returning a number value, and we have actually returned it using the return statement. So anywhere we are not able to define that it how to means return a value means more than one value. So to do that, we are normally using a parameter of type out. So to change this, we need to create our another stored function. Let's open up another SQL worksheet and create another function using this only. Let's rename it to with out pair. So by adding this section, we are able to actually define that this particular function will be returning a value vnum and also out parameter called vnum2. So to return a value, we need to initialize it with some value. Let's say it will be returning 30. Now let's try to compile it. Okay, it is showing that identifier with more than 30 characters was specified. It is showing because this particular string for a function name is more than 30 characters. Now it is compiled. So in this way we are able to declare a function that will be returning two values somehow, that is first with the return clause and another with the out parameter. So we also need to have a look on how to call this particular stored function from a anonymous block. So we will be using our this anonymous block. In this case, as we are declaring, we are returning a value using vnum as out parameter. We need to declare another variable that will hold this value in our calling environment as well. So we will be declaring v number2 number 0. By placing this particular variable at this part, we are saying that this variable v number2 will be holding the value of vnum2 out parameter. Okay, now that we have called our child function with out parameter, let's print out both the values. It will be printing out the return value, and this will be printing out the out parameter value. Okay, now that we have written our code to call the stored function without parameter, we will be running it. Okay, just first clear it out so that there is no confusion. It is showing that anonymous block is completed, and on the console it is showing both the output. The first one is return value from a normal stored function is 10. 10 is because this particular function is returning vnum, which is having a value of 10, and the out parameter for normal stored function is 30. 30 is returning because we have declared a variable as a out parameter, and in that particular parameter we have put our value 30. So in this way we are able to return a value from a function for more than one variables. So this is all about the stored functions inside the Oracle database. These are one of the major concepts of Oracle database. I hope these are clear to you. uh, Thank you guys for watching the videos.